Nvidia didn't expect this little switcheroony. Limewire is back, and Stadia might be doing something amazing, and that is not a joke. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet. And let's start off with a little switcheroony that's going on in the world of graphics cards. In case you didn't know, Nvidia likes to remove functionality from its end consumers by implementing a light hash rate, little check on their GPUs that make it so that end users can't mine as efficiently on their graphics cards, to which some enterprises in China have gone about by taking GPUs out of laptops and then turning them into desktop cards. RTX 3060 laptop cards are being found in full-fledged desktop graphics cards so that they can mine with them. It's a pretty ingenious move and probably something that Nvidia didn't intend, especially since the RTX 3060 laptop is number one, faster because it has more CUDA cores, but number two, it can be cheaper because it only 6 gigabytes of VRAM as opposed to the 12 that Nvidia has put onto the desktop card, and that doesn't really matter so much for mining, so they get the best of both worlds and then they can slap it on a card. It appears that it's selling right now for roughly $540 a piece, which is honestly not a terrible price for an RTX 3060, whether it's made for mining or not. As you can see here, it actually looks like a card that you could find on the street and be like, yeah, that's a graphics card. It only has one single display output for HDMI. It also requires two 8-pin power connectors in order for you to power it, but it does look pretty decent overall. However, the benchmarks from the mining actually show where the powerhouse of this comes in. So the RTX 3060 with the LHR typically gets about 34 megahash per second on Ethereum, whereas this bad boy is going to be hitting 50, which is almost a 50% improvement because Nvidia decided that they didn't need to put LHR on laptops, because who would want to mine on a laptop? Why would we restrict consumers on a laptop? That doesn't make any sense. Let's restrict to the people who actually want to use this for other things. In case you can't tell, I'm anti-LHR when it comes to them on the GPUs. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to implement. Like, there's other coins you can mine, so why are you limiting the people who could just do it with their graphics cards at home? It really doesn't make anything better. Nvidia GPUs are still really expensive. It's not like it brought down the price when they implemented it. Everything's still just way too much. I don't know. What do you think of this fake RTX laptop desktop 3060 that's being sold on the market? Would you be interested in buying one? Let me know down below in the comments. One of the things that I am interested in buying is the new Mac Studio that Apple announced a couple of days ago, and we've gotten some more details coming out about it, including the fact that the Mac Studio with the M1 Ultra chip is 2 pounds heavier than the one that has the M1 Max chip, even though they have the same power supply and all of that. According to Apple, it's because the M1 Ultra uses a copper heatsink, whereas the M1 Max only uses aluminum. So that's just for better heat dissipation, but then we'll also add some weight to the computer, and that just makes a whole lot of sense. But we also got benchmarks coming out of the highest end M1 Ultra Mac Studio that's out there. These are preliminary, so take it with a grain of salt. Might not be finished, but you can see the Geekbench 5 scores here. If you compare that to other chips that are out there, it's worse than Intel's Alder Lake when it comes to single core performance, but roughly what the M1 chip is supposed to sit at, which makes it a little bit better than AMD's chips. However, in the multi-core score, that 24,000 point right there, that is roughly equivalent to a Threadripper 3970X, which, in case you didn't know, is a 32 core chip. The M1 Ultra is only 20 cores. So the multi-core scaling does appear to be absolutely crazy. This thing might be a production powerhouse. I'm actually looking forward to seeing it come out. And a lot of people were looking forward, or looking not forward, to the United States president's executive order or whatever he was going to announce with regards to cryptocurrency. But let's talk about Cryptostonks, because that fear, whatever it was, turned into money. Bitcoin up 8.5% on the day to be at $41,800. You can see here it started last night at 38,673. It just chewed right on up above $40,000. 8.5% in a single day. Ethereum up 5.3% to be at 26.49, and Dogecoin up 3% to be at 12 cents, which the executive order that President Biden talked about with cryptocurrency kind of opened the doors for the United States to explore some sort of digital coin that's centralized, made by the US government, as well as looking at ways of mitigating risk or finding ways that cryptocurrency can be used in the confines of the democracy that America has created, but also allowing us to be a leader in the financial marketplace and global finance. And that's the general gist. They really didn't have a whole lot of action that they were gonna take. It was more just like, hey, let's keep our eyes on these things, which we don't typically talk about hot news here on politics. So if you are going to discuss this down below in the comments, make sure to make it about the cryptocurrency rather than the political side of things. But that's all happening. But you know what? I never mind. I'm going to get political for a second. What is going on with Limewire? Huh? With their back as an NFT marketplace. That's what's happening, my friends. Limewire, the place you used to know and love for stealing all of your favorite songs. I specifically remember that somebody in my family used Limewire to download a Less Than Jake song, and the one that was circulating around on Limewire had like a promotion for you to buy the album in the song. I think it was like Motown Never Sounded So Good, and then, yeah, anyways, and then I found out later on that promotion's not in the actual CD because I bought the CD because I don't download things illegal. Actually, I really don't. Anyways, Limewire back as an NFT marketplace where they want to sell digital collectibles to everybody. The real thing they're trying to do here is make NFTs accessible to the everyman. You can see their timeline and roadmap here in April of 2022. They're going to have a private token sale for you, and they're going to have an official launch of the Limewire marketplace in May of 2022, but essentially making this easy for NFT newbies. And this, I don't know if this ruins Limewire, because this kind of like feels in line with what Limewire used to be, like a shady offskirt of things that you probably shouldn't have been doing, which kind of describes the NFT marketplace altogether in the first place. But, you know, let me know what you think of the Limewire being back down below in the comments. And I'm going to let you know that Tesla is ready to sell its first German-made Model Y. March 22nd is the now announced delivery date for the Gigafactory Berlin-produced Teslas that are coming out of their factories. Tesla had to jump through a whole bunch of environmental loops that the German government set forth for them to meet in order for them to actually sell their vehicles, but it looks like they've done that. They anticipate that it's going to be fine, and Tesla will start having vehicles being sold on the European continent, made by the European continent sometime soon. And Volkswagen showing off their ID Buzz electric vehicle to bring back their little wagon that they had, the bus, the VW bus that everybody knows and loves. They're showing it off at South by Southwest, and they showed off primarily the European edition of the ID Buzz, but saying that the American version will be shown off at some time in the near future, and it'll have more American stylings, but you can see it's right here. I'm actually really intrigued by this because one of the things that like we as a family have kind of been looking at is the fact that we need a vehicle that doesn't have normal doors, especially for as many kids as we have, as well as the fact that we have a special needs kid, so getting them in and out of a regular door is really difficult, and there's really no electric vehicle that kind of meets that need of having a specialized door. That's not like, there's no electric minivan, and so it's kind of the Model X with the gull wing, and it feels really weird that that's their only option, and I kind of want an electric minivan. This might be the route that I'll take if it comes out to the US anytime soon, which is not expected to, like 2023, 2024, but I'll keep my eyes on that. And Valve has been keeping their eyes on Elden Ring performance. They talked about how they were going to fix the stuttering issues that were happening on Elden Ring for the Steam Deck, and true to their word, they actually came out with a fix for it. It's because they didn't pre-compile the required shaders due to issues with how they're doing things on DirectX 12, but Valve went in and fixed it, even if From Software didn't give a rip, didn't want to take care of it themselves. Valve got it done. So now the least buggy way to play Elden Ring on a PC is on the Steam Deck, which only YouTubers have, and apparently I'm not a good enough one to have them. How do we be a better YouTuber? Get good. Google's looking to get good at making Stadia, though. There's new reports coming out that they have found a way to get Windows game emulation working on Linux. They're going to have something to present at the Game Developers Summit on March 15th, where they're going to talk about how to write a Windows emulator for Linux from scratch, which some theorize might be a way that Google might get Windows games running so that you could actually have them on Stadia, which would actually make Stadia rather compelling, but then it actually just makes it freaking GeForce Now, which is great and all, but it would mean that they could run Windows games unmodified, and it could create the freaking cloud gaming thing that I always wanted Stadia to be. I was excited for Stadia from day one. I remember I stayed up late in South Africa to watch the live stream. I streamed it with Reece. We were so excited, and then we found out what it was, and we were so disappointed, and then I bought it because I wanted it to be good, and then it never was good, and then I canceled my subscription, and I still have my Founders Edition Stadia controller somewhere around here, and by golly, I'm probably gonna have to sell it sometime soon because this is never gonna go anywhere. But a man can hope and dream, and I want you to dream easy, knowing that I'll be back here tomorrow for some more hot news. We'll catch you then.